Crysis. Why does Crysis matter in 2020? To answer this question, we must go back in 2002, when Crytek, the company behind Crysis, developed the first CryEngine. It was initially designed to create a tech demo named Dinosaur Island, which caught the attention of major gaming companies back in 1999 and later became a graphical benchmarking software for Nvidia. Building on this success, Crytek developed its first major game project, Angelus, a first-person shooter with a cyberpunk theme and role-playing elements, which was first privately shown at E3 2000. The project first attracted publicity for the company at the 2000 ECTS with their tech demo at the Nvidia booth, but was subsequently cancelled. It was not a total failure though, as Crytek would be approached by Ubisoft to develop Dinosaur Island into a full AAA game. The final release was retitled Far Cry, which was released in March 2004. Alongside this, Crytek announced their licensable game engine, CryEngine. Fast forward in 2004 and Crytek partnered with Electronic Arts and announced the development of a new gaming franchise based on the CryEngine, which would eventually be the Crysis series. Crytek opted in this direction to showcase that the CryEngine was not limited to just what Far Cry had shown. Due to this partnership, Ubisoft acquired the full rights to the Far Cry franchise by 2006 as well as a perpetual license to the first CryEngine, which they have since adapted into their own Dunia engine. In December 2004, Crytek and ATI created a special cinematic machinima to demonstrate the future of PC gaming. We are now in January 2007 and Crytek made the first demonstration of the CryEngine 2, the engine that would later power the most demanding for its time in gaming history, Crysis. Crysis was released in November 2007. Crysis was so demanding back then that even to top-end graphic card at that time, the GeForce 8800 GTS and the GeForce 8800 Ultra, would display FPS in the low 20s when all the options in Crysis were maxed out. Imagine in 2020, a well-optimized game that would put the RTX 2080 Ti to its knees. This was the strength and also the weakness of Crysis, as it attracted lot of attention with this prowess, but unfortunately not many gamers were able to buy it on its release as their rig would not support it. Nevertheless, Crysis was a massive success and marked the minds of generations of gamers and one of the most graphically intense and demanding games of all time, period. Crysis Warhead followed in 2008, being an even more refined game with improved effects over Crysis. Warhead was also a big success. In 2009, Crytek announced the development of the CryEngine 3 that would enable game development, not only on PC as it was the case until now, but for the game consoles at the time, namely the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. This announcement was met with a lot of criticism, especially from PC gamers who would have preferred the game to remain a PC exclusivity and questioned the capabilities of the consoles to give due respect to the graphics of Crysis, even though Crytek themselves explained that the consoles were capable of rendering Crysis and that moving to a multi-platform strategy was the most financially viable solution for the company. Crysis 2 was officially announced on June 1, 2009. The game is the second main installment of the Crysis series. It was the first game to showcase the CryEngine 3 game engine and the first game using the engine to be released on consoles. The sequel, Crysis 3, was released in 2013. Crysis 3, announced in April 2012, received positive reviews upon release. Praise was directed at the weapon selection and customization, menus, visuals and multiplayer, while it was criticized for its story, level design, length, and outdated mechanics in comparison to its predecessors. With a budget of $66 million, the game sold 205,000 copies in its debut month, and became a commercial failure for Electronic Arts. Shortly after Crysis 3, Crytek slowly started to fall in the shadows. In June 2014, reports surfaced that Crytek had missed wage payments and withheld bonuses for Crytek UK and Crytek USA employees, and the company responded that it was in a transitional phase, as it secured capital for future projects, with a particular emphasis on online gaming. In July 2014, Crytek announced a strategic deal where the rights to Homefront, including Homefront: The Revolution, which met with criticism and did not receive positive reviews overall, and the Crytek UK staff were transferred to Koch Media. The team continued its work on the game as the new Deep Silver Dambuster Studios. Crytek USA was restructured to remain an engine support team while development of Hunt, Horrors of the Gilded Age was transferred to Crytek. On 20 December 2016, Crytek announced that their studios in Hungary, Bulgaria, South Korea and China would be shut down. On 7 March 2017, Crytek sold Crytek Black Sea to Sega and the Creative Assembly. On 28 February 2018, Crytek announced that Savatir Lee was stepping down as Chief Executive Officer, CEO, of Crytek, with his brothers, Avni and Farooq Lee, taking over the company's leadership as joint CEOs. Savat continues to support the company as an advisor and major shareholder. The development of CryEngine 4 was followed by CryEngine 5. It is to be noted that both engines have not been heavily used by third-party developers in the current generation. Recently though, in 2019, the company came back in the lights with a tech demo they created in collaboration with AMD to showcase the potential of CryEngine 5 in harnessing the power of ray tracing without the use of dedicated hardware, and thus proving that their engine was ready for the next generation of games. So why does the remastered version of Crysis in 2020 would matter? Well, it's very simple. With the latest developments for the company, if Crysis 2020 does not succeed in leaving an impact, the company may very well find itself in financial difficulties, and that would seriously impact on the eventual use of its engine by gaming studios for the next generation of consoles and PC gaming rigs. Crytek has always been a company of innovation and one which had the guts to do what others would not dare. Crysis 2020 would either set a benchmark for other gaming companies to rival, or may see the defined fall of a once glorious company that through its games, marked generations of gamers. Thank you for watching and see you next time.